European Union, the Common European Asylum System, CEAS. Europe has developed the most elaborate regional asylum policy framework in the world, the Common European Asylum System, CEAS. Established to harmonize asylum practices and strengthen legal safeguards, CEAS is comprised of several directives and regulations. Despite its ambition, the system faces significant criticism due to uneven implementation and the tensions between national sovereignty and shared European responsibility. Core components of CEAS. Dublin Regulation, Regulation 604/2013, determines which EU member state is responsible for examining an asylum application. This first country of entry rule disproportionately burdens states on the EU's external borders, such as Greece and Italy, and has led to calls for reform. Legal scholars and practitioners have criticised the Dublin system as incompatible with the fair distribution of responsibility and respect for asylum seekers' preferences. The Qualification Directive lays down the legal standards and criteria for determining who qualifies as a refugee or as a beneficiary of subsidiary protection within the European Union. It aligns the EU definitions with those of the 1951 Geneva Convention, ensuring consistency across member states. The directive also guarantees that beneficiaries of protection enjoy key rights, including access to employment, education, healthcare, social welfare, and residency permits, aiming to support their integration into the host society. The Reception Conditions Directive sets out minimum standards for the treatment of asylum seekers while their applications are being processed. Its goal is to ensure dignified living conditions across all member states, regardless of where an individual applies for asylum. The directive requires that applicants have access to adequate housing, food, healthcare, and material support. It also regulates freedom of movement, access to legal assistance, and conditions under which asylum seekers may be detained, ensuring that detention is used only when strictly necessary and under humane conditions. The directive includes special provisions for vulnerable persons, such as unaccompanied minors, pregnant women, and survivors of torture, recognizing their need for additional care and support during the asylum process. The Eurodac regulation establishes a biometric fingerprint database to support the implementation of the Dublin system. It is used to identify the first EU country an asylum seeker entered, helping determine which member state is responsible for examining the asylum application. Eurodac is a key tool for preventing multiple applications in different countries, known as asylum shopping, and for managing Dublin transfers. However, while it serves an administrative function, the system raises serious privacy and ethical concerns. Critics argue that it treats asylum seekers as security subjects and may lead to increased surveillance, data misuse, and stigmatization. Reforms under the 2024 EU Pact further expand the scope of Eurodac to include facial images, more personal data, and flags for security and return purposes, intensifying the debate over the balance between efficiency and fundamental rights.